for our first turnaround fund in 2016-17, one of the important questions that was bugging me was, why do companies fail? Because as a private equity guy for turnaround fund, we have to invest into companies that are in the cusp of turnaround, or if you don't do them, they will fail. So one of the important criteria, why do companies fail? I've seen good companies performing exceedingly well for decades. And suddenly, when they go ahead with some aggressive plans, uh, then they start going in the downward spiral. What triggers such a change is $1 million question, because I have asked this question to so many promoters when I meet with them. We all know in everyone's life, there is some pivotal moment that happens, and that could be a change for the future. It all depends how each one of us take that moment and take it to the positive side of it. Is it that the promoters were just ambitious, or did they cross the line towards greediness? Was the research topic that I was looking at, right? That resulted in the downfall. But you can't answer this question like that. There is no, every promoter behaves in a different way. And countries like developing countries like in India, we have external disequilibrium, internal disequilibrium happening all the time.
Yeah.
Right? So I want to understand the distinction between first ambition and greed. So if we don't have that clarity, I can't go into companies and see what triggered that process, right? Now, an ambitious person, now we look at it as a human being, an ambitious person will always work hard to achieve the goals. And once he achieves it, he is satisfied, right?
Yes.
So this is one part of it. I was able to get it right. They will never deprive others of the opportunities or act selfishly, because they are looking at their ambitions. But a greedy person will choose the easiest way to fulfill his needs. He won't care about what is happening about the consequence of others. And his corrupt actions, he will reach to perform his goal. So this is the distinction that I first made, right? Now we have to analyze where it happens. Then the question comes, whether entrepreneur starts with a dream or ambition, but what makes him greedy at what point of time?
Yes.
So now we have to understand what psychologists say, right? Now, ultimately, our brain is tuned in different formats.
Correct.
First one, the psychology says we are born greedy, right? Now, why do we say that? I was talking to my cousin when I was writing this, doing this work. He said, brother, don't disturb me. I'm in the airport cleaning the toilet airport because my son was so greedy. He drank so much aerated drinks and he puked. And the airport people were very upset with me. So he was just being greedy.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, second thought process is we are born good, but we become greedy. So there, if you take an example of the similar child, if a child is deprived of love and affection,
Correct.
or he doesn't get the toys that he wants to play with, and they grow up with the type of people who try to force others into meeting that needs. So in the process, what they become aggressive and manipulative because they were deprived of this. So they will go any extent to get what they wanted to get it.
Correct.
So this is a child's behavior. And this is where I really understood, okay, there is no clear fixated rule who is greedy, whether they are born greedy or made greedy, right? But when their grandiosity becomes uncontrolled at some point of time, then it becomes a greed. You don't know that. At what point we become greedy? We will say we are making $500,000 business. Now, to make it $1 million business is okay. And a $500,000 business gentleman says, now I want to become a $500 million business. And in 5 years' time. Then that means you are trying to aspire something right? Okay, unicorns are there. We will not get to exceptions. We are talking about where it happens most of the time. Okay, so I have witnessed these type of business cases in across India and other regions. I came to India. I mean, I have seen Asian currency crisis, what happened in Indonesia and other countries, and we have seen Lehman crisis. And when you got involved in restructuring and all of that, so I find how companies, we have seen people like Moser Bear, what happened? People like Punch Lloyd, what happened? Various cases are there in India. And they were all once upon a time darlings of the stock market.
Yep.
And suddenly things change. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was trying to fit all these type of things in the context that I was researching when I was doing this. Okay. Now, one more thing I observed, if somebody is a sensitive person can never become greedy. Because what happens, a greedy person will have a thick skin to achieve whatever he wants. But a sensitive person, if somebody criticizes, he will not take it. He will not be able to take it. So this is another fine difference that I found it. So a sensitive person will never become greedy because he will get criticized and he can't take criticisms. So he will stop doing that. Right?
Very interesting. Yeah.
So I worked with, as a consultant for last 15, 18, 17 years in India, small and various companies. Many of the entrepreneurs pursued their dreams or ambitions relentlessly, and they took the company to greater heights. But some of them crossed the line. And I have also worked with some people who crossed that line towards greediness.
Yeah.
So when I want to write this entire experience, I'm not an academician. I'm not some IIT professor, IIM professor. So nobody is going to listen to me. So if I have to make it engaging for students and for practitioners and businessmen, you need to write something that they feel as a story, what happens in their lives. Because we can write a corporate book, don't do this, corporate governance failure, don't do this, don't do this. We can do all of that. We can do research. But that will not get in unless somebody touches your heart and say, this is why it is happening. It is like you are obese. Until you get a heart attack, you never stop, you don't start exercising. You don't even do dieting. It will not happen to me, right? So we take it granted. So I said, let me write it as a fiction. So that is how my thought process came in. Now, coming to the book, why the title of End of Samba Dance? There is a corporate saying we all know, when you incorporate a company, it starts decaying. It is like a human being. We see in science, beyond the age of 17, 18, your cells start dying, right? Similarly, corporates, the day you incorporate a company, it starts decaying. So every business model goes through various cycles from startup to growth to maturity and decline because it's a business model. Now, you will hardly see, you can count in fingers in India who survived more than 100 years, which corporate survived more than 100 years. You can count in your hand, right? That is how the business model works, right? So at the end of the day, when you start taking decisions and start tumbling down, there is a life comes to an end. So I got the end right. Now, where does Samba comes in? So my protagonist is called Samba Sivam Venkatraman.
Yes.
Then I thought I was, scratching my brain. What? Then I loved this Brazilian, Afro-Brazilian dance called Samba dance, which we have seen carnivals of Samba dance and all that. So when the program ends, we enjoyed for half an hour on the TV. And then suddenly when it ends, you feel, oh my God, why did it end? So I said, this is how I would love to catch the phrase. End of Samba. Instead of SAMBA, I wrote SAAMBA as end of Samba dance. So that's the title for you.
Seriously, sir, this is really very interesting. So, taking it forward, I would like to understand, as you mentioned, that this thin line is really very difficult for an entrepreneur. And your book actually explores what I understand is about an entrepreneur's journey, starting with a dream. It starts with a dream or an ambition, but somewhere, it gets derailed, or I don't know what happens. So, how these, whatever you have mentioned in this book, how these examples relate to your personal experiences? Can
Very
you
good
share some
question,
stories
Sukhbir.
there?
Uh, in fact, many people ask me, incidentally, after my book was released, certain events happened in India,
Yeah.
and which was part of my book. I don't want to say it in a recording column. Suddenly, see, Sridhar, how did you predict this is going to happen?
Yeah.
Right? Now, I lived in a country called Rwanda. Many people did not know about Rwanda until genocide happened in 1994. A million people were killed. So I was there and my company was bombed. 50% of my workers were killed, hacked to death. Then I moved to Indonesia in 1997, 98. You had the Asian crisis. You're all aware of the Asian crisis,
Yeah.
currency crisis, which brought down dictator who ruled 37 years in Indonesia, Mr. Suharto, President Suharto.
Yeah.
Now, when he was brought down, inflation, issues, army broke into two, riots broke, and women were raped, and all sorts of things. And my company was a $1 billion company, and we had borrowed heavily, another $1 billion for my growth ambitions in terms of steel, automotives, and all of that. And I had to sit in Jakarta airport. You must have seen the movie Airlift, right?
Ah, correct. Yeah.
Now, I did that sitting in Jakarta airport, airlifting 400 Indian expatriate families who work for our company uh, uh, by chartering Air India planes sending back to India. Now, those events are very impactful. People, we just told the family, all of you have to come with just one suitcase, each one of you. Nobody carries any personal belonging. Country is in crisis. Americans were leaving, British were leaving, all of that, right? And 60 banks collapse. When 60 banks collapse, your corporates along with that collapse. And you have 20,000 people working for you, right? So you have seen that. And what happens when you were borrowing heavily for your growth, assuming everything is Anki-Dory and disequilibrium hits you, external disequilibrium, right? So collapse happens in 1998. So I was part and parcel of it. And $1 billion debt, 2,500 rupiah to a dollar goes to 20,000 rupiah. You can imagine if 83 rupees goes to 800 rupees or 1,600 rupees per dollar, what will happen? It's a
Yeah.
chaotic situation, right? That's what happened in Indonesia. So I was part and parcel of the whole process. So I witnessed it, right? Then I moved to Hong Kong. Then I was moved to South Africa. And it was a greenfield project and post-apartheid. In
Hmm.
1994, apartheid got Nelson Mandela. Then I
Yeah.
met Mr. Mandela. Then we put up a $100 million business. And what happened until 2002, we put up this project, but my parent company in Indonesia could not come out of the problems.
Hmm.
And my project, operations successful, patient died. I could not continue because my parent company could not supply my raw materials. So
Yeah.
the South African bankers said that you have to liquidate. And in the meantime, Indonesian authorities said all companies sell overseas assets, bring the money back to settle your debt.
Yeah.
So I had to put the whole group into bankruptcy in South Africa way back in 2002, right? So you are involved in the transaction and you have 3,500 workers working in Botswana and South Africa. You feel really pathetic how people have to lose jobs. Fortunately, I ensured we sold it to another company that people continued with them. But that's an experience. Then I
Yeah.
moved to Hong Kong and the company was making losses and all because they did not visualize quota system of garments was ending.
Yes.
And they had factories in Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, China, and the promoter did not know how to go about it and the company was losing money.
Hmm.
And I was there, and within a year, I turned around into a profitable company
Yeah.
with aggressive turnaround expertise,
Hmm.
right? Then I came to India. as a head of a large company, which borrowed from Lehman Brothers. You can
Hmm.
imagine. I come in 2008, and 2008 July, Lehman collapses.
Correct.
And we had borrowed money, listed company. And what do you do? And when Lehman collapsed, a lot of companies also started defaulting on their borrowings, foreign borrowings.
Yeah.
So I did the restructuring. I turned around in 18 months. Then I got into consulting for the last 15 years. I mean, from 2010 to 2013, I was doing debt restructuring, peak period. Then you had high NPAs in India,
Yes.
2011,
It was
12,
NPA
right?
time. Yeah.
And I was able to restructure close to almost 20,000 crores of debt restructuring across various companies I did. So when you do all these processes, you understand what is going on with this company. Is it just the debt? Or is it somebody recklessly did something?
Yeah.
Or their project failed because they did not see the risk management
Correct.
issues?
Yeah.
So it was a comprehensive issues. And when I look at the board of directors who are sitting on the board, what qualification do they have? When I say credentials, are they connected politically? Are they just sit there, mama chacha sitting in the board, and they are not able to control the promoter, whatever he is doing? Nobody is questioning. And the management below, how professional they are. Our professionals can do only so much, but sometimes it becomes reckless, right? So this entire thing was playing in my mind. There is no one such story that I will relate because of this happened. But when
Yeah.
you have a plethora of experience, you can understand that the journey of an entrepreneur, you can observe it goes in different stages.
Correct.
And I have worked with visionaries, great people who made mistakes.
Hmm.
And I had the earliest experience. I was 37, 38 when I had to put my own company in bankruptcy.
Hmm.
You learn your lessons much earlier in life, not when you are in 50s and 60s,
Hmm.
when your second generation is ready to come and you are faltering in your business. I have seen companies where promoters to say, I don't want my children to inherit the debt,
Correct. Yeah.
but you are stuck. I mean, and then you heard about stories about forming trust and how to protect the family assets from children getting affected. So many things happen all the time,
Yeah.
right? So that is how my experience helped me to weave a story around it, and then bring it coherently.
So this is like mix of experiences which you had throughout your career,
Yes,
and you
yes.
have
I
uh,
have observed, I have read stories, I was involved in transactions. Most of my gray hair came in 7 months' time when you are dealing with the bankers one side, creditors one side, your shareholders one side, and you come in as a turnaround expert. You
yes,
didn't commit the sin, but you are cleaning up the sins,
yeah,
right?
I-
And people who, I mean, it is very unfortunate. Some of the people whom I restructured the debt and all that, some of them are languishing in jails today,
correct, yeah. So,
right? So then I said, this book has to encompass all of that, not just the corporate story.
hmm,
If I mean, I know people will read my book. I have taken right up to enforcement directorate, to CBI, to bankruptcy, to liquidation. I have taken the book within the 250 pages across the whole spectrum.
I myself have gone through the half of the book right now. I'm in the midst of it, and I can clearly see the varied kind of characters which you have built in the entire book,
Right.
and created a full. I think I would say full imaginary experience has been very interesting, and that is why my next question to you, sir.
Yes.
Uh, your protagonist, Sambashivam Venkatraman, undergoes a transformative journey in this entire book, what I can see. And do you really have some message which readers should take away from this story?
See, I don't want to call yes, we had a transformative journey. Transformative journey is much more positive in nature.
Yeah, got it. Yeah.
Okay. So he had a quick success. Of course, he come from a humble family, from a village, and then comes to education, helps him to come to some sort of a business and entrepreneur. And then the disaster happens, right?
Yes.
And his vision to make it big had many flaws.
Yes.
And he was rushing it through without understanding the consequences.
Yeah.
Now, he did not also listen to his best friend, conscience keeper, philosopher, Anand,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
And the friend is advising him, don't do this,
Yeah.
right? His aggressive approach also intimidated the entire board of directors. Who are the board of directors? People from accomplished field. If you see the list of directors, which we will talk about it,
Yeah.
accomplished people.
Hmm.
But an overbearing personality, an entrepreneur who can talk from one end of the economy to the world population to what is happening around the world, and he has created the infrastructure across the world with companies in South Africa, Indonesia, England, and he borrows money, he does M&A transaction. The guy is like an encyclopedia himself,
Yeah.
right? Whether it is polyester business, whether it is engineering business, whether it is automotive business, this man is like an encyclopedia. And
Yeah.
if somebody comes overbearing in front of you,
Huh.
and each of professionals come from one particular set of background, whereas an entrepreneur is a person who can see from start to end. A
Correct.
successful entrepreneur, one of the qualification is a man who can see from the start and where it will end. It does, that is why most of the startups fail. Most of
Oh,
the startups think only from start to growth only. They
yes.
don't know how it will end,
Yeah. That
right?
is not part of the story.
No institute will teach you.
Yeah.
You have to visualize. And I have worked with such people who can visualize, Sridhar, this is going to happen. In 20 years, my business model will change. And any successful entrepreneur invests at least in 10 ideas. And
Hmm.
I'm talking big conglomerates. They work on
Correct.
10 different ideas.
Hmm.
Who succeeds? 8 fails.
Hmm.
That's what is keeping those 100-year companies still away, alive.
Hmm.
Not with one business model that today you see some opportunity, some platform, tech platform, some fintech platform. It all goes for a toss because overnight when UPI comes, Paytm goes for a toss,
Yeah. Very true.
right? We have seen all of that in day-to-day life. And
Yeah.
also, he used a CFO who was also greedy
Yes.
because he wants to take money when there is a growth happening. There are some people, they have, observe the promoter. Is the promoter, how is he achieving the means?
Hmm.
Now, if the promoter is gullible and he is using other means to get money or do things or get approvals
Hmm.
from the government, then the people below him also start practicing. Aha, my promoter paid so much money to that politician, this government official. And if I take in the process little bit for myself, why not?
Correct. Yeah.
And I used to be in real estate business early in my career. I used to go to the municipal corporation's office. Why do you guys take money for approval of the plan? Because it's all clean, right? He
Hmm.
says, no, sir, I don't take money. Somebody else is taking money. Now, when you walk out of my room, you will always say all of us are corrupt. So anyway, you are branding me as correct. So I am also started collecting money. So the logic of a government servant is like this.
Hmm.
And SV's grandiosity was uncontrolled.
Correct.
So the journey that he has taken it is from this perspective. I saw it, right? Now, what is the story that I would like to, I mean, what are the takeaways? When you read a book at the end of the day, it is not about all the masalas that is around and all of that. Sometimes it is scary. When I wrote certain chapters, my stomach was churning
I can imagine.
because you are writing something. When you go through that experience, only when you experience it, you know how your body chemistry works.
Yeah.
When somebody is in deathbed within your family, you don't know next few hours what is going to happen,
Yeah.
right? Kith and kin.
Yeah.
Similarly, it happens in your companies, you feel that. So I used to find very difficult to complete some of the chapters, and I used to feel really uncomfortable writing it. But that is the story you have to write because that is the reality, right? So
Yeah.
every entrepreneur should have his growth and ambition checked,
Hmm.
that they don't cross the boundary. towards the greed, which I have already defined. Ambition and greed. As long as your ambition is not affecting others,
Hmm.
it is okay. But you are depriving others and creating consequences on your company, on others, on the society, then that is wrong. So
Hmm.
that's the first message that one has to take it. Because it is affecting your, so many employees lost jobs, right? When the default happens with the banking sector,
Hmm.
today in the IBC code is there. Now,
Hmm.
so many companies are languishing not to even get admission, then liquidation, resolution. By this time, what happens to all the employees? On the one side, we want to grow 7%, 8%. On the other side, you have productive assets that are created, either borrowed or made. Those assets are languishing, and we want new companies to start,
Yeah.
right? So we are having a difficult situation in India. It is the cusp of that transition. Why can't we put the productive assets? Who knew SRs will lose control of the steel factories? They
Hmm.
were the king of steel factories.
Yeah.
Similarly, so many other businesses lost their domain, their emperor situation, right?
Hmm.
Second is surround yourself with good conscience keepers, because this is
Those who
what
can be
entrepreneurs have
upfront.
to learn.
Those who can tell you the things upfront.
Yeah, they should be there with you, right? Third is keep governance at your heart. Many people think, what is corporate governance? It's about Companies Act, it's about SEBI, it's about. It is simple. I met Mervyn King, who was the Supreme Court judge of South Africa, who became King's Code of Governance. If anybody has read Governance, King Code of Governance was very, very popular. And I met Mervyn King. He said, Sridhar, governance is nothing but intention. If you have a good intent, you will do well, right? So even when you have a challenging situation, are you maintaining governance standard? Don't get tempted to do things that can come back and bite you big, really hard. That's the third. Fourth is create a board that with a diverse background. Many people make this mistake. If you see Indian boards to a large extent, promoter may be a technical gentleman, whereas you have lawyers, you have chartered accountants, you have company secretaries, or some government ex-officials, IAS, and all of that. But don't do that. You need to question. If you are in automotive segment, get somebody who is strong in automotive segment as a director, independent director.
Yeah.
He will question your investment thesis. Why you are buying this machine? Why not this?
Hmm.
Right? And you get a safety person who's on the roll, he will say your safety practices will not meet to international standard. So they will question you,
Yeah.
right? Now, the last one is ensure risk management process is in place. Because people think risk management is what? You have
Hmm.
operational risk. I have told you my experience in Rwanda. A genocide happens.
Yeah.
Indonesia, currency crisis happens. Now, companies will say, sir, how can we visualize Russia attack Ukraine? Or Israel will one day attack Lebanon, or Pakistan will do this. See, these things are external disturbances.
Yeah.
But internally, suddenly, we see our corporate today, 4,500 results have been declared for the second quarter by corporates.
Yeah.
Now the growth has come down from double digit to single digit. It's about 8% growth. The
Hmm.
markets have fallen from 85,000 to 77,000. Now, when you fall, you are getting downgraded. Your access to capital becomes difficult. Now, how do you visualize all these things? So, a CFO or an entrepreneur or the senior management have to do risk management from across. Technological obsolescence. Today, overnight, you're thrown out of the business,
Hmm.
right? So, risk management is an exhaustive exercise that one has to keep it. So, these are the 5 important things I would say take away from the book.
Very interesting. So I have so many questions in my mind which are going on, but I would like to mention over here that participants can keep asking questions. If you have some questions, we will definitely take it up here. So before I give everybody else a chance, one last question from my side I would
Yes.
also like to ask is How do you see this book, that is End of Samba Dance, contributing to a broader literary landscape, particularly in terms of corporate governance? Because I feel that this book is a landmark kind of a fiction book which is coming in this area. So, how are you viewing it as this book?
Brilliant question, Sukhbir. Today, the word corporate governance is most used and abused.
Yeah.
Everybody will talk about corporate governance.
Yes.
When you think about compliance and regulation, it is not. As I already said, it is about intention, right? No individual can aspire to become great unless he has a moral code of conduct, because his growth depends on how he creates a positive environment around him.
Hmm.
That's very, very important. A successful person is always surrounded by friends who motivate him or her. We are gender neutral here, because
Yeah.
we see a lot of women entrepreneurs also coming up in startups, and they are holding very high positions. We have seen also some issues with NSC, or whether it is ICICI Bank, all of that. Okay. They also ensure that the promoter does not cross the boundaries, or the guy who is on the top, right? So same thing is happening in the corporate also. We hear every day about corporate governance failures in India, and how it has created havoc in the lives of people, right? Gone are the days where companies worried about their shareholders alone.
Yes.
Today, you have a society, you have employees, you have suppliers, you have customers, and it is to the entire society. Today, we are talking about ESG, and it is encompassing everybody else, right? You can't have only taking care of bonuses and dividends for the promoters alone. You can't get away with action that only satisfied your ego.
Hmm.
Because I have seen promoters who will say, I can be McDonald, I can still be Apple. I said these are two conflicting issues. You
Yeah.
can't be an McDonald and you can't be an Apple. You will never make money. You will collapse. So strategy is about which business model you want to do it, right? So we all had good governance standard 30, 40 years back. All of us know, we are sitting very, very senior people here. But when the country and its people aspire for aggressive growth, then compromises starts taking place.
Yeah.
Banks used to give 30, 40 years back on the word of the promoter. I know you, your family, I will give you 10 crores and you will repay me. Today, the bank will not even look at you. What
Hmm.
is your collateral? What is your cash flow? What is the security you are giving this? They don't want to give you more than a month leeway to repay the debt, because
Hmm.
they have seen it. So, from this perspective, my book, End of Samba Dance, will contribute towards better corporate governance. At
Hmm.
some point, greediness that leads to recklessness
Yeah.
must end,
Hmm.
and that will end. This is what we call in Hindu Dharma as karma,
Hmm.
right? So that's what I would say this book can carry a message, because it is a fiction. It is easy read for people who are not coming from finance background also, because
Yeah.
not all promoters are finance background,
Correct. Correct.
but
That's
they are
true.
business oriented.
Yeah. Okay, so it's wonderful to have a chit chat show with you. But now I will request all my participants if we have some questions. Now the floor is open. Yeah, Tyagarajan sir, you want to ask some question? Okay, so we have, okay, so what we will do is,
Mhm.
uh, I will request Tyagarajan sir, since we have no questions right now. So I will request Tyagarajan sir to give vote of thanks for today. Sir, are you there?
Salonuji, you have no questions? You're
Okay.
muted, right? Is everybody is muted or what?
Okay, just hold on. I will just.
Okay.
Hello,
Yes, Mr.
Tyagarajan
Tyagarajan.
here.
Yeah, now we can
Yeah,
hear you.
I just wanted to know how it is this book is specifically helping the entrepreneur.
Oh, that's exactly the
What is
last.
the message you are giving to the entrepreneurs?
I gave 5 specific points in terms of how the entrepreneur should deal with their companies. One is keep good conscience keepers around you. Number two is ensure your governance is at your heart. Even in challenging situations, you don't cross that line. Number three, you ensure your stakeholders are protected, not just shareholders. And number four, you ensure your family is behind you because family gets affected first,
Yes.
right? So, and ensure risk management is in place.
Yes.
So, 4, 5
Okay.
points I talked about it when I talked about the
Very crisp points.
Okay.
The
Any more
word,
questions? Yeah.
the line you have given is very important message that greediness leads to recklessness. This is very
reckless
important.
reckless behavior through greediness
Reckless behavior, recklessness in the business, and the business
is out of greediness.
gets closed. Yes, very important.
Thank you.
So, Tyagarajan sir, may I request you to give vote of thanks?
Okay. Good evening, dear professionals, and good evening, children, and Ms. Subir Kaur. Thanks for giving me opportunity to propose vote of thanks. I am actually competent enough, not a writer and not a this thing. And how I like to say that the title itself is very attractive, and number two, it was a very interesting to note. It was very interesting to note how he arrived at the name, the samba dance. Very interesting. And one more thing is, Mr. Sridhar has done research, thorough research of all the aspects, and then wrote a book. He just didn't write a fiction just like that. It's going a message is going to the entrepreneur, and it was really a very interesting talk show. And I thank Mr. Sridhar for sparing his valuable time, and also Sukhbir ji, you had been a very excellent host, and also the audience who has spared their valuable time, and we are very thankful to you, and it was a awesome and amazing session. And with Mr. Sridhar has been all through very cheerful throughout the session. He spoke excellently and very well. And thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you, everyone, for
Thank you.
being there.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
We look forward to more sessions.
Yes.